notice that all experience is accompanied by the fact of being aware. Whatever we are experiencing, we are aware of it. Whatever thoughts are taking place in our mind, they are known. We are aware of them. Whatever we are perceiving, that is, whatever sights, sounds, tastes, textures, and smells are present, we are aware of them. If our eyes are open, we are aware of the sight of this room. The sound of my voice is known. So see that being aware or knowing accompanies all experience, irrespective of the content of experience. Become interested in the experience of being aware. That is, cease being exclusively fascinated by your thoughts and feelings, by your sensations and perceptions. Cease even being interested in the words that I am speaking. Be interested in that with which they are known. The common name for the knowing with which all knowledge and experience are known, the common name for the experience of being aware or awareness itself, is I. I know my thoughts. I am aware of my feelings and sensations. I perceive the world. Not the thoughts that we have, not the feelings, sensations, and perceptions that come and go in our experience. But I, the knowing element, the aware element in all experience. Cease, for the time being, shining the light of your knowing, shining your attention on the objects of experience, and come back to yourself. Being aware of being aware is a unique experience. It is the only experience there is. The only experience there is that does not take place in subject-object relationship. The I that knows is the I that is known. The sun that illuminates is the sun that is illuminated. So don't try to find yourself, don't try to find the experience of being aware as an object of experience, as one might find a thought, a feeling, a sensation, or a perception. Just allow your attention to come back to rest in its source or essence. Being aware of being aware doesn't seem to be much from the point of view of the object-knowing mind. We are engaged in the highest form of prayer or meditation there is. It is the meditation for which all other meditations are a preparation. notice that the fact of being aware is the common element in all experience, the common factor in all knowledge and experience. It runs, so to speak, ever present throughout all changing experience. The objects of knowledge and experience are continuously changing. Has anyone here ever had a thought, feeling, sensation or perception that didn't change, that didn't appear and at some point disappear? It is obvious that the objects of experience are continuously changing, continually appearing and disappearing. But the experience of being aware, or awareness itself, remains continuously present throughout all experience. In fact, the experience of being aware is the only element of experience that is continuous, or more accurately, ever present. We think that our bodies are continuous. We think that the world is continuous and that awareness or consciousness is something fleeting and fragile that comes into existence and then disappears. If we stay close to the evidence of experience like a true scientist, we find that the opposite is in fact true. All that is known of the experience of the body or world is a series of fleeting and changing sensations and perceptions. The experience of being aware is the only experience that remains continuously present. In other words, the body and the world borrow their apparent continuity from the ever-presence of awareness. The experience of being aware is always in the same condition. At breakfast this morning, whatever it is that was aware of your experience is in exactly the same condition as whatever it is that is currently aware of your experience. All your thoughts, images, feelings, sensations and perceptions have changed numerous times since breakfast this morning. But being aware has remained constant throughout. And not just breakfast this morning, but whatever you were experiencing yesterday, last week, last year, 10, 20, 30, 40 years ago. Being aware remains in the same condition throughout. Commonly known as I, myself. That which we, each of us, essentially is in the same condition now as it was when we were 5-year-old girls or boys. It hasn't changed, it hasn't moved, it hasn't aged. No experience has added anything to it or removed anything from it. It is at once one with all experience and independent of all experience. Like the space of this room, it touches intimately everything that appears within it, but is utterly free from whatever appears within it. Thus its nature is peace. It is inherently or innately fulfilled. Thus its nature is happiness. When I say its nature, I mean your nature, the essence of your own mind is innately peaceful, innately fulfilled, not as a result of any particular experience, but a peace that is prior to all experience. Now, is there anyone here who, as a child, did not at some stage lie awake in bed, wondering how far physical space goes on? Did anyone not have that? Ask themselves that question. So ask yourself the same question now, not asking yourself how far does physical space go on, but how far does the field of awareness within which my experience appears go on? You are the field of awareness within which your experience appears. Therefore, you are in the perfect position to be a true scientist and investigate that field. So now, with your attention, don't give your attention to my words or your thoughts, or the perception of this room, but with your attention, travel through the field of awareness, the space-like presence of awareness within which your experience is appearing. How far does it go? See if you can find the edge of it. See if you can find the place at which it ends and whatever it is that is outside awareness begins. Can you find that edge? And if any of you do find what appears to be an edge to awareness, ask yourself the question, is that not an object appearing in the field of awareness? Travel again with your attention. Try to find the edge or the border of the field in which your experience appears. In other words, if we investigate like honest scientists, relying only on the evidence of experience, this knowing or consciousness is all that is ever experienced. And it is possible to explain the whole of reality on the basis of consciousness alone. What are the implications of this possibility? It implies that whatever it is that whatever or whoever seems to be outside of ourselves, in other words, all others, all objects, and the world, although they may be outside of our limited, finite minds, they are not outside of the infinite field of consciousness out of which our finite minds are made. In other words, the implications of this possibility is that everyone and everything is a modulation of a single, infinite, indivisible whole, seemingly separate from ourselves, seemingly made out of something other than ourselves. But in reality, an integral part of the same infinite, indivisible whole. I'm not speaking of some extraordinary experience to which only a few enlightened sages have access. Everybody knows the experience to which I am referring. The common name for it is love. When you feel you love someone or are in love, do you not feel to a greater or lesser extent that you are one with that apparent other? Is that not precisely what the experience of love is? The dissolution of the sense of separation between yourself and the other. In other words, love is not a relationship. It is the collapse of relationship. It is the absence of self and other. In other words, it is the recognition of our shared being. It is a recognition of reality. Each of us, all apparently finite minds, long, above all else, to be divested of their seeming separation. All the separate self truly longs for is to be divested of its sense of separation, its limitations. To be relieved of the apparent limitations that seem to confine us to a cluster of thoughts, images, feelings, sensations, and perceptions, and returns us, as it were, to our origin, our source, or our essence.